Hey everyone, before we get started today, I wanted to make you aware of a free resource that we have called 30-Second Micro Moments of Intention with Your Kids. This is a list of quick and easy things that you can do to have meaningful connection with your kids in 30 seconds or less. You can get that by going to our website at parentsmakingtime.com/free resource. Go there today so that you can start building lasting memories one micro moment at a time.
I love a good tradition, those small, simple things that I can look forward to each week, month, or year. And traditions don't have to be elaborate to be powerful, and they're not just for the holidays. So today we're exploring the small, memorable rituals your family will actually look forward to and how they will help you build deeper connections that last.
This is Parents Making Time, the show that helps busy parents put family first without burning out.
We're Anthony and Jennifer Kraker. We don't just give parenting tips, we help you become the parent you want to be.
In 2002, the American Psychological Association's Journal of Family Psychology released a 50-year study of family routines and rituals. And what they found was that family routines and rituals play a direct part in marital satisfaction, adolescents' sense of personal identity, children's health, academic achievement, and stronger family relationships.
Yeah, so also in that article, you can read about how that study gave definitions of what a routine and what a ritual is. And I think that's pretty important. In the article, it says that routines involve instrumental communication that conveys information that this is what needs to be done and involve a momentary time commitment so that once the act is completed, there's little, if any, afterthought. While a ritual involves symbolic communication and conveys this is who we are as a group and provides continuity and meaning across generations. It went on to say that any routine has the potential to become a ritual once it moves from an instrumental to a symbolic act.
When we're not purposeful about our day-to-day actions and we're not thinking about creating simple rituals or routines that can become traditions for our families, we're missing out on really meaningful experiences, and we fail to see our day-to-day interactions as meaningful if we don't have these rituals or routines or traditions. A lot of times we think of traditions as just being for only the holidays, but really traditions, rituals, routines, whatever you want to call them, can occur throughout the year, right? They can recur weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, whatever. And they don't just have to be geared towards the holidays. The article that Jen mentioned previously says that routines and rituals offer stability during stress and transition. And so the consequence of not creating simple yet intentional traditions is a lack of stability and an increase of stress in your family life. And those are consequences that I think we'd all like to avoid.
Yeah, for sure. So as we've thought about this and we've talked about sharing this with you all, we decided we wanted to share just maybe a list of some traditions that we've seen that have helped our family over the years and things we just love, even from our own childhoods as well. So we're going to go through a few of those today, and maybe it gives you a chance to think about your own traditions or maybe even traditions you want to start. So the first one that I'm going to talk about was from the time, actually, I want to say it was when our first child was like 2 weeks old. Someone gifted us a CD, because back then you listened to music on CDs, and we were having a hard time getting her to go to sleep. The CD was Baby Mozart, and we tried it. We put it on for her, and it seemed to help her go to sleep. So it became this thing. It wasn't super intentional, like this is going to be a tradition, but it became one over time.
It became a ritual. Every night we would put that CD on.
We literally used that CD until the CD wouldn't play anymore.
Yeah, for all three of our children.
In fact, I know that it was still played at any time one of our children went to sleep until our son, our youngest, was in first grade.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's funny to think about. I can hear all the songs in my head just thinking about it.
Sometimes I hear them as I am laying down to go to sleep at night. I hear the dun 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 dun. I could probably still, if I thought through it, I could probably still remember.
Well, what else I think is funny is I think that our children, if they heard it, might get sleepy.
Yeah.
It was such a trigger for them to get sleepy and calm down.
Yeah.
And I think it still would.
And I should say too that you and I would listen to that CD because we would hear it through the monitor.
Yes.
When we put the kids down and when they were really young. And yeah, so it almost became part of our ritual each night as well, which was fun.
It's part of our family tradition for sure. The next one I can think about was Friday movie night. Do you remember the first time we did this?
I don't remember necessarily the first time. I do remember the first time we watched Star Wars.
Of course you do.
Because I was so excited to show it.
That was years after we started the tradition, though. We started this before Ethan was even born. And so you were in law school. And I think that we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a way to get out and do a lot of things. And I think one evening I was trying to come up with something fun because sometimes you're always trying to entertain the kids. So our girls were small. And I remember they had these fluffy, almost like recliner chairs that they would sit in. And we have a picture of it with big bowls of popcorn and blankets. I don't know what we watched, but we started a Friday movie night tradition. It was like pizza and movie.
Yeah.
And we homemade the pizza because we couldn't even afford to deliver it. But we started that tradition.
Yeah. That was fun. We did Friday night movie nights for a long time, and the movies got better over the years as the kids got older. So,
better for us, at least.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a fun one. And we would have pizza and popcorn. And what I love about movies as a tradition is it gives you a story to kind of bond around. So, for example, when the kids got old enough, we showed them all of the Marvel movies, right? There was a time where Marvel was like the big thing, right? In any time a new Marvel movie came out, which seemed like it was happening like
all the time,
every other month, you had to go see it. And so it became this thing where we would talk about the movies and we would bond through these stories, these archetypes that were entertaining, but also had some good values or lessons or whatever. And it was just a special way. So family movie night became that. And then we look back and think about, movies that we watched that weren't very good. Oh, that movie was terrible.
And we laugh about
it. Or there's movies that we really love, and so we've watched them again over the years. And it's just I love cinema, and so that was a really cool thing that I'm glad we did that as the kids were growing up.
It also was a way for us to share our childhood with them because we could share movies from our childhood or our teenage years, and so that was fun too. Another one that I think of a lot goes back to my family growing up is my parents created this tradition of we would have family nights on Monday night. I'm the baby of 6 kids. This tradition started long before I was born, but there was a certain song. It's called Love at Home. They would all gather the children on my parents' lap and they would sing it. So I'm 45 years old. That started before I was born. That tradition continues today. We don't do it weekly like we did then. But anytime my extended family, like my side of the family, is together, we sing that song. And it's become important, not just to me. I would say it's become important to Anthony.
Yeah.
It's become important to our children. So the grandchildren are carrying this on. It's a really neat unifying thing that we have as our family.
Yeah. And it's just a simple song. It's actually a hymn that we sing in church. And it's a beautiful little song and really creates this tight-knit bond. Another one that we've done that has been really meaningful is Sunday evening phone calls with our parents, particularly with my mom. We had for years, as the kids were growing up, kind of a standing 7 p.m. phone call on Sunday evenings where I would talk to my mom and then we'd pass the phone around and all of the kids would get a chance to talk to their Nana. And that was really special. It was something that we looked forward to. But we live far away from her, so we only get to see her maybe a couple of times a year if we go to Texas or if she comes to Florida. And so that was a way for our kids to really stay connected to her. And it was something that we did weekly. It was a routine or a ritual that kind of became a tradition.
Yeah, and we've carried that on now that our girls are away from home. Sundays, I can remember last year when our second daughter left home and she was struggling with, when do I call home and how do I stay connected? And we got to sit her down and be like, don't forget to call us on Sundays. Because she wasn't. She was filling her day. And we're like, Sundays is the day to check in.
Yeah.
You can check in other days too, and please do. But leave time for us on Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was important. So another thing I remember from my childhood is waking up to my dad making breakfast on Saturdays. It probably didn't happen every Saturday, but it is something it's a memory that I have. he was off work, he would make us breakfast that morning because he liked to, and it was a way he showed love to us. And so sometimes your rituals, your routines, it is those small ways that you can share and show love for your children, and they'll remember those things.
Yeah. There's other little things that you can do. Like we mentioned in last episode, we talked about our weekly ritual with Ethan that we do on Sunday nights now. But we also have a nightly ritual that we do with him where we usually watch a show together, like a 30-minute sitcom show. And then before bed, we'll read some scriptures together. We'll say our prayers. But another thing that we've recently added in is just taking a moment for each of us to say something that we're grateful for. And that's become an important part of our evening ritual and gives us time to just reflect on the day and anything that happened that we're grateful for, or just something going on in our lives, or just a person that we feel grateful for, or a thing that we feel grateful for that particular night.
Yeah, and it helps, especially on those bad days when you aren't sure what to be grateful for, to be like, wait, I really do have something that I can be grateful for. So we've talked a lot about these rituals or routines and traditions that can happen on days other than holidays. But holiday traditions are important too. You have birthdays, and it's really can be fun to create some specific things that happen around those birthdays. One of the things I think of is my parents always calling me, but all of us, and singing happy birthday. And my dad passed away 3 years ago, and I know our oldest has told me that she still has a recording of both my parents singing happy birthday to her. And she says she will never delete it because it means so much to her.
Yeah. Yeah. They would, every grandchild, every birthday, and every child too.
Yeah,
and
you included.
Child-in-law. Yeah. They would call me on my birthday and sing happy birthday. It was really cute and sweet. Definitely meaningful, something to look back on with a lot of fondness. And
yeah, maybe they felt
warmth.
awkward doing it, but we all love it, especially now that Grandpa has passed. It's a sweet memory.
Yeah. Some traditions can be really short-lived, but also meaningful. So, for example, one of the things that we've done with our kids, we started with Bella, our oldest, a few years ago. It's been more than a few. How old
It'll
is
be
she?
5 years. She turns 22 in December.
5 years
in
ago.
a few weeks.
Crazy. Well, that's not 5. Is it? 4.
No, it's 4. We
4
don't know
years
our
ago.
math.
Okay, so it hasn't quite been 5.
I'm going to go back to school.
Yeah. We decided that when she turned 18, we would take her out to this Brazilian steakhouse. And if you've been to a Brazilian steakhouse, they're awesome, amazing. They're also not super cheap usually. And it was a big deal to take her out to a little bit nicer restaurant and spend a little bit more money than we normally would when we eat out. And so that was fun. And so then we did that with Natalie when she turned 18. And now Ethan's looking forward to that. And so that tradition will die after Ethan because we won't have any more kids turning 18. But Bella, who is 3 semesters away from graduating college now, she has lobbied and now committed us to take her out to a Brazilian steakhouse when she graduates college.
That's right. So, she says it's motivating her.
Yeah. So when she graduates college, we'll do it again with her. So
the other thing about that, though, that I was thinking as you were talking, is that specific place is a place you and I have gone for special occasions. And the kids know that, and they've never been invited. So to get to go to this place that they know mom and dad go to for special occasions, now they're invited. It feels really special to them.
Yeah, for sure. There's also, obviously, Christmas time, Thanksgiving, other meaningful holidays that people celebrate, religious holidays, Easter, Hanukkah, whatever it is. There are a ton of different traditions that people can do that are meaningful and important. And some of them are even just silly things, but they help us to connect with our family. One of the things that my family did, and I didn't have the most functional family growing up. We had a lot of challenges. I think I maybe talked about that in the first episode that we did for Parents Making Time. But one of the good memories I have growing up is we would usually right after Thanksgiving, the day after, usually that Friday after Thanksgiving, we would watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and decorate our Christmas tree. And that was like a fun tradition. And that's something that we've actually carried on into our family. And so every year with our kids, we either the Friday after Thanksgiving or shortly after Thanksgiving, we gather together and we watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and we have food and all that, and then we decorate the Christmas tree together. And that was a way for us to make a meaningful tradition with our own kids, but it also helps me stay connected to good memories from my own childhood growing up.
Well, and connects our kids to the generations before them. And in fact, I think it was 2 days ago, Bella told us she was watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Ethan said, "It's not time."
Yeah.
He was like, "You ruined it. It's not time." Although she pointed out she won't be home for it this year, so she was in the clear.
So we would love to hear from you about your traditions or rituals or routines that have become meaningful to you and your family. So send us a DM on Instagram or Facebook and let us know what you do or what you're doing to make rituals and traditions special for your family. And we invite you to think about whether there might be new routines or rituals or traditions that you could implement that would be meaningful for your family going forward. We would also love, if you haven't done so already, if you would leave a rating or review for this show on Apple or Spotify. That helps us to get the show out there. And also, if you found this episode meaningful or helpful, we would be grateful if you shared it with a friend and help spread the word about the show.
Yeah, so coming up next week, if you have ever felt whiplash from all the changing parenting advice out there, one expert says this, another says that, and somehow you're supposed to keep up, you are not alone. In our next episode, we're breaking down why all that expert noise can create so much unnecessary anxiety, and how to stay grounded when the opinions constantly shift, and how to trust yourself more as a parent. Until next time, make time to become the parent you want to be.